Dear students, we are going to start with our geometry sessions now. The first chapter what we are having in your syllabus is similarity. Now there are so many questions you must have covered earlier, but I will just briefly revise how to write the theorem. Two theorems I will explain you in detail so that you will be in a better position to understand how to write the theorem in the most compact way. First of all, I will go for basic proportionality theorem. I'll go for basic proportionality theorem. What do you mean by that? We are having a triangle, for example. Name of the triangle, I consider it as ABC. And if I draw a line like this, which is parallel to the base, then it divides other two sides in proportion. For example, I consider this point as P and Q. This line L is parallel to BC. Then what you need to prove? We have to prove that it is AP upon PB is equal to AQ upon QC. Now let us understand the logic behind it. Whenever you draw the line parallel to the base, it divides the other two sides in proportion. That is a statement. Now the question asked to you in the text board is like this. State and prove. And then they will give you the theorem. So what we need to do, we are supposed to write the proof statement. That statement is like this. A line drawn parallel to one side of a triangle divides the other two sides in proportion. That means ultimately we have to prove this. Now there is certain thing which I expect that in geometry we are going to make specific columns for writing the proof. Not only theorem, for proofs. I expect that all of you will follow this for better presentation in the test. What we do is we make three columns. First column is for serial number, statements and reasons. Now this proof is having certain standard statements. Now how to go about it? So there is, if you see the textbook theorem, then there is need to do some construction. Construction is join segment PQ and segment PC. See, whenever you are having construction part, construction has to be dotted. So we are going to do this. It is a dotted line what we draw. Now you please focus on the other explanation which may not be the part of your textbook. I am putting an arrow like this and then on this side. Here also like this. Now these arrows will try to make you understand how to name the triangles. So I am writing it like this. Area of triangle upon area of triangle, that is equal to. Now see the naming of this. Is it A, P, Q? So I will write APQ triangle here. Then how to name the base here, this triangle? It is B, P and Q. So I am writing another triangle here. Now those, you just remember one thing, that these particular triangles, they are first two letters, that is AP and BP, they are on the same level, and then finally you are approaching the same point. This kind of triangles are said to have equal heights. Therefore, their areas are proportional to their corresponding bases, and they are nothing but just neglect the last letter and you write AP upon BP. Is it clear to you? Actually, this is easiest way to write the proof. Now, it may take little more time, but in the exam, if you remember this logic of writing the names, then it is very easy. APQ and BPQ, you just forget the last letter, it becomes AP upon BP. Now you go for the next one. What happens in the next line? There is the other pair. You can name it like this. This is from A to Q and then from Q to P. Similarly, C to Q and Q to P. So what is the name of this? Area of triangle APQ. Now what you have to write? Area of triangle AQP. So I am writing here area of triangle AQP upon area of triangle BPQ. Sorry, area of triangle CQP. That is equal to. Now tell me, these two triangles, they are having the first two letters, that is AQ and CQ, along the same line, and then finally you are approaching the same point P here. That means the triangles are having the same base and equal heights. Therefore, their areas will be proportional to their corresponding bases. So AQP and CQP, forget the last letter. So we can write down this part as AQ upon CQ. Now what is happening here? Both the statements, they are having a same reason. That reason you have to write. What you will write as a reason? Areas of two triangles. Areas of two triangles having equal heights. Areas of two triangles having equal heights are proportional to their corresponding areas of two triangles having equal heights have their areas proportional to their corresponding bases. So we have written this, and there is no need to write the separate reason for this. Now see the third statement. Now what you do, I am just going ahead just to have a mechanical approach. Now what you do is you write two numerators in front of each other. Area of triangle APQ is equal to area of triangle AQP. Reason is very simple. It is the same triangle or not? APQ and AQP represent the same triangle. So I can write the reason for this as same triangle having different names. Same triangle having different names. Next one. Now you have written two numerators together. So we will go for two denominators together now. Area of triangle BPQ is equal to area of triangle CQP. Now what is the meaning of that? Check this. BPQ triangle is between these two parallel lines, and CQP triangle is also between same two parallel lines. Are you getting it? So these triangles are having a same base, that is PQ. BPQ, the base is PQ, and CQP, that is also having a base PQ, and these triangles are between the same two parallel lines, so their height is same. So here we have to write triangles having same base, and same base means whenever I am writing same base, you just see that same base is PQ. Triangles having same base and equal heights. Triangle having same base and equal heights have equal areas. Triangles having same base and equal heights have equal areas. Now see, there is some difference, I made it from the textbook, but this is what we have to understand. First one, we have named the triangle, two ratios we have written. Now two numerators we have written in front of each other. Two denominators we have written each other. You must have understood the reasons for this. Now I will go again one more step. I am writing here statement number 3 divided by statement number 4. So I am dividing statement number 3 by 4. So what happens? We can write area of triangle APQ, whole thing divided by area of triangle BPQ, that is equal to, what you should write? Area of triangle APQ upon area of triangle BPQ. Left hand sides are divided. Similar to this, you write the right hand sides also, that is area of triangle AQP upon area of triangle CQP. Correct? Now you see this last part of the statements. See, this is your left hand side, this is the right hand side, and this left hand side is available here. APQ upon BPQ is here, and AQP upon CQP is here. That is shown in this. So now what happens here? Both the statements are having left hand sides identical, therefore right hand sides are equated. Therefore statement number 6 I can write AP upon BP, that is equal to, it is AQ upon CQ. The reason being statement number 1, 2 and 5. Here we have to write statement 1, then 2 and then 5. So we are going to write down this proof, and that is nothing but, now we have to write the statement what you finally require, AP upon PB, that is equal to AQ upon QC. This is what we call it as basic proportionality theorem. In this particular chapter, we are going to have two theorems. Normally they ask one out of these two. One is about this basic proportionality theorem, which we in short call it as BPT. Please stick to this approach. Now once you understand, yes, we are going to name the triangles, line of this, then naming of the triangle the way I have mentioned with the red color and blue color pen. So naming is proper. Once you write the name, then these triangles are having equal heights, therefore their areas will be proportional to their corresponding bases. That is what we have to manage. Now once you cover up the theorem, see the questions what are there in the textbook, you can easily manage to do it. Few questions I am going slightly ahead because there is a chance that trigonometry, then basic proportion matlab similarity and Pythagoras, these are the chapters where they can probably ask you a question which is based on a textbook. I am coming to that, but this is the first important proof of this particular topic. I hope you must have understood this. Okay, we'll go for the next one now. Now, in this particular chapter, there are two main theorems on the basis of which we are going to have few sums. One is about angle bisector property. Angle bisector property. I'll draw the diagram and explain you that in between here. This is triangle ABC. And if I draw the angle bisector like this, which divides this angle into two congruent parts, this point is point D. Now the statement says, now we are going to take immediately one question here based on this property so that you will understand that what kind of questions you can expect here. Suppose you are talking about this figure, this is a bisector and angle bisector we are talking about. Now this angle bisector divides the opposite side in the ratio. Now when they are saying that yes, the line is dividing the opposite side in the ratio, that means we have to write BD upon DC. Correct? BD upon DC, and that is equal to, it divides the opposite side in the ratio of remaining sides. Now what is coming along with BD is side AB of triangle. So in front of this we have to write AB and here we have to write AC. That is a part which we have to handle. Now how the questions can be based? One simple question they can ask you. They will give you the base. One part they will give you. Total base they will give you. So you can find out this side and any one of the sides given to you. So you have to find this. So this question you expect only for 2 marks. But what kind of totally, matlab, I have told you that the questions based on this particular theorem are asked. So how the question is designed? Let us go for this one. This is one triangle ABC. Now this particular triangle is such way that there is one point taken in the interior of an angle. So I consider this point O. And if it is joined with all the vertices, so definitely there will be different triangles created. So it is O is not exactly at the center. O is any point in the interior. We have joined that point with the vertices. Now what they have done, they have drawn angle bisector of angle AOB. So basically this is a bisector, I consider it as P. After that, there is one more bisector here. This one is going to be point Q. And there is one more bisector here. That is going to be marked in this way. That is going to be point R. So what they have asked you to prove, you must have understood what is the diagram basically. Again I repeat, O is any point in the interior and OP, OQ and OR are the bisectors of these angles. So to prove that, what they will ask you here, prove that AP multiplied by BQ multiplied by CR, it is AP multiplied by BQ multiplied by CR is equal to PB multiplied by QC multiplied by RA. We have to prove this. Now see how these things are worked out here. My first statement, I am not making any column here, but exam, whatever you are going to write, that has to be in statement reason form. Don't write like an essay. So now what I will do, I will consider triangle AOB. Triangle AOB. OP is a bisector, no? So what I can write? I can write AP upon this theorem we have to apply here. AP upon PB is equal to, can you write down this as OA upon OB? It is a bisector theorem, bisector property. Now, if you observe the figure from this side, that particular theorem works here. OP is a bisector. This bisects the angle, but it divides the opposite side. Opposite side matlab AB. Divides the opposite side in the ratio. That ratio is AP upon PB. It is equal to the ratio of the remaining sides. Now, similarly, we will take this triangle. In triangle OBC. Now in triangle OBC, OQ is a bisector. So what we can write? BQ upon QC, that is equal to, it is OB upon OC. Property is the same. It is angle bisector property. Number 3. Now I am going to take one more triangle. First one I have taken as OAB, then I have taken OBC. Now I have to take triangle OCA. In this triangle OCA, what you should write? It is CR upon RA, that is equal to, it is going to be OC upon OA or not. Now, in each particular triangle, we have used the same theorem. So, I am just making use of this. It is going to be having the same reason, that is angle bisector property. Now, you must be applying this logic for the first time in geometry, whatsoever you have finished till now. You normally know how to multiply adding the equation, subtracting the equation. Here what I am doing, I am multiplying all the 3 equations. That means what I am doing, I am multiplying the left hand sides. I am multiplying the left hand sides, that is AP upon PB multiplied by BQ upon QC multiplied by CR upon RA, that is equal to, I can write OA upon OB multiplied by OB upon OC multiplied by OC upon OA. Now what happens here? What will get cancelled? OA will get cancelled along with OC and OB2. Now when you multiply 3 fractions, we are going to multiply their numerators, that is AP multiplied by BQ multiplied by CR. Then we have to multiply PB multiplied by QC multiplied by RA. That answer is going to be 1. And now what we can do is, we can just transfer this denominator on that side. I am writing that statement over here, that is 6th one. First one I have to write here, AP multiplied by BQ multiplied by CR, that is equal to, you can write the entire denominator multiplied by 1. So that is PB multiplied by QC multiplied by RA. Basically, you have to learn all these approaches. This thing is totally new to you, but the questions based on simple logic. This is angle bisector property based question. I hope you must have understood this. These kind of questions you expect for 3 marks or 4 marks sometimes in the test. I hope you must have understood this. We'll go for the next question now. See, we are going to take one more sum of this particular topic based on angle bisector property. Now they have given one diagram like this. They have given the information that angle bisector of angle B and angle bisector of angle C, they meet each other in point X. And they have drawn a line through X till it intersects the BC line as Y, in Y. So we have to find the values of AX upon this xy. Now the proof as far as this angle bisector property is concerned, it's very easy. Initially we are not going to put any value here, but we have to select the triangle. Statement number 1 now. Now you take triangle ABY. Now in this triangle ABY, BX is a bisector, correct? So I can definitely write here, it divides the opposite side. Opposite side of this triangle is AY. It divides the opposite side, that means it is AX upon XY in the ratio of remaining sides. Now remaining sides are these two, no? When you are taking this triangle ABY, opposite side is AY but remaining sides are these two. So I can definitely write this as AB upon BY. Now similar to this procedure, I can take one more triangle which is on your right side and I write in triangle ACY now. Now in this ACY triangle, is this a bisector of the angle? So it bisects the opposite side in the ratio. It bisects, it divides the opposite side in the ratio of the remaining sides, and that's why AX upon XY will come. Now when you talk about AX upon XY, that is this angle bisector divides the opposite side in the ratio of remaining sides. So again here I can write AC upon CY. Now the things are very clear from this. Now my third statement. Actually in algebra, suppose I write A is equal to B and again I write A is equal to C. So I can write one more statement as B is equal to C. Or I can write A is equal to B is equal to C. I am going to adopt this procedure here. So what I will get? The left hand sides are equal, therefore right hand sides are also equal. So I can write AX upon XY is equal to AB upon BY, that is equal to AC upon CY. Reason what you have to write is statement number 1 and 2. Now there is one question, typical question which is asked, that is related with, and that we have to use in trigonometry also. You must be aware that there is something called as theorem on equal ratios. So I am writing the reason first, I will implement it afterwards. Theorem on equal ratios. What is that? Theorem on equal ratios. So what is to be done? I am going to write this as AX upon XY, but I can add corresponding numerators and denominators of remaining fractions. So I can write AB plus AC upon BY plus CY. Now what you have to write? The fifth one, AX upon XY is equal to, what we can write here? AB plus AC upon, see the figure now, BY plus CY is nothing but BC. So reason here we have to write statement number 4 and B dash Y dash C. And now it is the last statement where we have to substitute the value AX upon XY, that is equal to, what is that? AB and AC means AB is 5. So I can write 5 here. Plus AC, we can write that as 4. Upon BC, that comes to be 6. So therefore, AX upon XY, that is going to be 9 upon 6. So therefore, AX upon XY after reduction, that is going to be 3 by 2. I think that is what is expected. Remember one thing, that if they ask you find the value of something, then that comes under the heading analysis. Suppose they are talking about a general question. To prove that, then you write statement reason. But I am giving you one more advice. Maximum questions on geometry, other than construction and coordinate geometry, you better express in statement reason form only. Are you getting it or no? Correct? So I hope you have understood this much part of similarity. Some extra information is also required, so that we will discuss in the next session of similarity. Okay?